Good day everyone. Today I will discuss the molecules of life, especially the four major elements known as John: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Before we begin, think about this question. What are we made of? Although our bodies contain many elements, about 95.7% of the human body is made up of four elements: the oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. These elements work together to build cells, tissues, organs, and all biological molecules needed for life. Now let's look at their abundance in human body. Correction lang po, mali po yung nasa slides kaya ito po yung bago. Oxygen is equals to 65%, carbon is equals to 18%, hydrogen is equals to 9.5%, and nitrogen is equals to 3.2%. Together, these four elements make up approximately of 95.7% of our body mass. A simple way to remember this po is oxygen help us to produce energy and carbon builds structures, while hydrogen helps with chemical reaction and pH balance. Lastly, nitrogen carries genetic information and build proteins. Now let's talk about carbon. Carbon is often called the backbone of life because it can form four stable covalent bonds with other atoms. Think of carbon as the framework or skeleton of a building. Without a strong framework, a building would collapse. In the same way, without carbon, biological molecules could not exist. Because carbon connects with many atoms, it forms long chains, rings, and branches. These structures becomes the foundation of important molecules such as carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, amino acids. In simple terms, carbon provides the structure that supports life. Next is oxygen. Most people know oxygen as the gas we breathe, but its role goes beyond breathing. Inside our cell, oxygen acts as the final electron acceptor during cellular respiration. To make it simpler, think of oxygen as the last worker in an energy-producing factory. Without that worker, the factory cannot finish its job. Oxygen helps cells produce ATP or adenosine triphosphate, which is the main energy currency of the body. So without oxygen, our cell would struggle to produce enough energy to function properly. And now let's discuss hydrogen. Hydrogen helps to create proton gradients, which are essential for ATP production. You can think of hydrogen ions as tiny batteries that helps powerful cellular activities. Hydrogen also helps to maintain pH balance, participate in many chemical reactions, and form hydrogen bond and stabilize biological molecules. Simply put, hydrogen helps power cells and maintain balance within the body. So the fourth element is nitrogen. Nitrogen is important because it is found in amino acid, proteins, DNA, and RNA. Think of nitrogen as the information keeper of life. DNA contains instructions that tell cells how to function, grow, and reproduce. Nitrogen helps form the nitrogenous base in DNA, including adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. These bases pair together and store genetic information. In simple terms, nitrogen helps store and transmit the instructions needed for life. So now let's proceed to biological coding. Nitrogen is also important in proteins. Around 16% of amino acids contains nitrogen. Proteins such as collagen, keratin, and enzymes, depending on nitrogen for their structures and function. Scientists can even measure nitrogen level to evaluate nutritional status and protein metabolism. So this shows that nitrogen is not only important for DNA but also for maintaining body structures and biological processes. So for the next one is the functional profile to summarize the roles of each element. So the first element is oxygen. Its function is to help to produce ATP and cellular energy. The next one is carbon, and its function is to form structural backbone of biological molecules. The next one is hydrogen. Its function is to maintain pH balance and supports energy production. And lastly, nitrogen. Its function is to form proteins, DNA, RNA, and enzymes. So an easy way to remember John is C to create structures, H for to help reaction happen, and O to offer energy production, and lastly N to navigate genetic information. So in conclusion, the four elements of John are the foundation of life. Carbon builds the framework, while hydrogen supports chemical processes. Oxygen enables energy production, and nitrogen stores and carries genetic information. Although these elements are simple on their own, when they combine, they create the complex molecule that allow living organisms to grow, survive, and reproduce. And that's all po. Thank you for listening.